So if you want to stand maybe right in front of the chair here. So is there one side that's maybe tenser than the other? Great. Right, so the idea here is that what you're going to do is lift up your arm here and just kind of give me the weight of your arm. So, right. So at some point, what I'm going to do is just drop his arm. And I don't know if you can see, you're a little bit relaxed actually, but right at the end there, it was a little bit of a catch as it went down. But what we're actually after, I'm going to do a little bit higher here. Let's see what happens from up there. Yeah. So again, I don't know if you could see it out there, but I can see it because I've done this a lot. There's a little bit of tension, like we all want to hold our arm up. We don't want to just let it go. So let me have you do this to me. So I'm just going to give you the weight of my arm. And just watch my arm and just see if it does anything different. You can let go whenever you want. Could you see more how it just kind of flopped down and there's not a lot of... Yeah, yeah. Because I've been doing this a long time, so I'm used to not holding nervous tension in that area. Does that make sense? So, and this is a thank you, I forgot. What's your name?
John.
John, thanks very much, John.
Thank you.
So, when I teach this, I have people do this with each other a lot because it's one of those things that we get stuck in our nervous system that we want things to be a certain way, or we don't want to let things go. And what's really strange, humans are really interesting monkeys in that we don't want to let go of things even if they're bad for us. Because they're still give us a sense of security. So it's a tricky thing to just let parts of your system or being just go. But that's the essence of this practice, is you want to be able to, if you find something in your system that you'd rather not have be there, let it go away. Okay. And the first place we're going to let it go away to, as we do this practice, well, the first step is we're just going to kind of let it go down through our body and kind of flow out the bottom. If you look at, there's lots of energetic systems in lots of different traditions, but they all basically have one thing in common, which is there's some connection up here that connects us to what's usually called, the Chinese always call it the heavens. It could just be the universe, whatever. And then below us, which we're greatly affected by, is the earth. And that is usually, we're connected to that down below our feet. So what I'm going to have you do is stand up for a minute, and if you can't stand up, that's fine. The reason these practices are done, or this initial practice is done standing up, is because we live on the earth, we have the constant effect of gravity. And the more you can keep your body alignments in good shape while you're doing this, the better the energy will flow through your system. So that's the general idea. In my workshop, I go into great endless detail about body alignments. I'm not going to take the time tonight, but I'll give you a few just to get started. So let's stand up. I'll do that as well. Although I could be lazy and sit down and do it, but I'll stand up too. So just a couple really quick things. Just have your feet kind of parallel, and you want to have your knees bent rather than locked. And if you have your elbows a little bit bent and your palms kind of facing backwards, kind of like you're a coat and you got hung on a hanger and the arms just kind of hang there. And just make sure your head is kind of right above your body, not kind of sticking forward or anything like that. And if you can kind of relax your chest, I'm sorry to bounce on the microphone there, relax your chest and breathe deeply in your belly through your nose. And if you want to, I'd recommend putting your tongue on the roof of your mouth. I won't go into why, but I'll just say that for right now. And go ahead and close your eyes. And the reason we're closing our eyes is because you can maybe feel inside your body a little bit better if you do that. We take in a lot of information through our eyes, so having those be closed can be very helpful for this. And then with your mind, or your intention, whatever you want to call it, your awareness, just start right at the top of your head. And just notice whatever you notice there. It doesn't matter what it is. When you first do this, chances are you're going to notice or feel more physical things or things in your physical body. And a few things you can kind of keep an eye out for are, there's 4 things. Any sense of strength, tension, contraction, or otherwise anything that just doesn't quite feel right. So just at that level, notice everything you can. And then whatever's left over, just sink it down to the next level. So maybe the level of your forehead. And you're going to go all the way around that level. Notice what's there. If something naturally releases out away from your body, just allow it to do that. And just always starting at the surface and going as deep as you can feel. Eventually you can feel deep, deep inside your body, but to start, you have to start somewhere more on the surface. And then down to the level of your eyes. We tend to hold a lot of tension in our eyes because we use them a lot for taking in information. Also, just behind your eye is your optic nerve, which goes right into your brain. That's a good place to become aware of and notice what's going on there. But again, all the way around. Releasing if it just naturally releases away from your body. And then down through the rest of your head, so down through your nose, your ears, the back of your head, your jaw, your tongue, the vertebrae in the top part of your neck. Noticing what's there and then just sinking everything down to the next level. And then down through your throat. And down to your shoulders, the top of your shoulders, the front, in front of your shoulders, the shoulder blade in the back, your armpit underneath, all the way around. Down the center of your throat and chest, the top of your spine between your shoulder blades. So always starting all the way around. And then down your upper arms, your chest where your ribs are, that part of your spine. Again, starting with the surface, eventually going deeper into the organs like your lungs and your heart, and whatever else is in there. Most people have an easier time feeling their heart because it's always beating, and their lungs because you're always breathing. But some of the other organs and things are harder to feel. But eventually you can do that. And then down to the level of your elbows and your diaphragm. See if you can feel your diaphragm as you breathe all the way through your body. I should say that if you feel dizzy or anything like that, feel free to sit down. And then down into the lower part of your belly, where your stomach is, around to the back, your kidneys in the back, your liver's on the right, spleen on the left. If you can feel that deep, that's great. But just go in as deep as you can, noticing what you feel, allowing anything to release away. And if you're familiar with your lower dantian, or second, I believe, chakra, you can go to that area. Again, feel it and release if you can. And then down into your hips and pelvis, through your hands, all the muscles, intestines, everything that's in that area. Really with your mind. So not visualizing what's there, but actually trying to feel what's happening there. And then down into your legs. The big muscles in your legs, all the way to the end of all your fingers. Starting at the surface, the skin, the muscles, eventually going into the bone and the bone marrow when your awareness increases. Down through your knees. Feel all the way around your knees, eventually into the center, and down into your calf muscles in the lower part of your leg. Always going in a downward direction, letting everything sink down through your leg, into your ankles, front, back, sides of your ankle, back where your Achilles tendon is. Sinking down into your foot. See if you can feel not just the surface of your foot, but into your foot a little bit. the bones, the muscles, the space between the bones. Can you feel all the way out to the ends of all of your toes? And then the entire bottom of your foot that's touching the ground. And then continuing to sink everything down below your physical body into your energy, your etheric body that extends a little bit outside your physical body. Again, always letting everything flow in a downward direction. And just let everything else sink and clear out. Take a couple more good breaths, and when you're done, I'd recommend that you just allow your eyes to open very slowly to allow the light to come back in. And also rub your hands together and just a little rub down your face and neck. Often doing this practice can get blood and energy stuck in your head. So, good. Everybody doing good? And out there as well? Great.